Hello guys, hope you are doing well. So today we will continue our chemistry class, but not on paper but on the board. Okay, so last class we have discussed about the periodic properties, that is atomic properties. Actually we have dealt about the atomic size, valency, then ionization energy, electronegativity, then positivity, metallic nature, and density. So various properties. And today's last property that we say in the physical properties is something called as hydration energy. Okay, so what is hydration energy? So let's talk about that. See, suppose let me begin with a question. Suppose I have, again just say, a glass of water, and in this glass of water I added salt, NaCl, salt I have added to this. I have taken a glass of water, a spoon of salt dropped inside. So when you drop it inside and I stir it, when I stir this, what happens? What do you expect? Will this NaCl be like that only? No, it will automatically break down. Now how is it breaking and what is happening? That is our interest of study. So when you drop this NaCl inside, it breaks down as Na plus and Cl minus. Okay. So assuming like all the ions, it is not like only one NaCl molecule I will drop. There are many NaCl molecules that are there, right? So when I drop all of them and I stir and I dissolve them, in fact there is a process called as dissolution. Now we know like Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus. So like this, all kinds of Na plus and Cl minus will be separated. Now we are talking about first group elements. So I am not interested about chlorine. I am not interested about chlorine. I am talking about sodium. So what is exactly happening to this sodium means this sodium ion Na plus is now attracted by water molecules. Okay. So what is this water molecule that can attract in this sodium ion? So we know that if you know it very good, if you not, water molecule, how does it exist? The structure of water molecule is something like this. We call it as bent shape or V shape. So it has two lone pairs and two hydrogens bonded to this oxygen. Now there is, if I ask you a question, between hydrogen and oxygen, which is more electronegative? Which is more electronegative? Of course, oxygen. So because oxygen is more electronegative, the electrons pulling capacity of oxygen is higher than hydrogen. So that's why it pulls the electrons towards it. So when it pulls, it gets a partial negative charge. It gets what? Partial negative charge. On the other hand, hydrogen will get partial positive charge. Same thing with this hydrogen also. The electrons are pulled towards oxygen, so it gets a more and more partial negative, and this gets a partial positive charge. I am writing partial because we can see that the bond is still holding on. The bond is not broken, right? So as long as this bond is there, we are mentioning it as partial. If the bond breaks, then it gets a complete negative charge, right? So as the hydrogen is getting partial positive and oxygen is having partial negative. Now on a whole, we have this partial negative character on oxygen, and sodium is what charge? Positively charged. So obviously this positive charge of sodium will be attracted towards this negatively charged portion of water. So that's how you will see like the sodium will be surrounded by the water molecules like this. They will be coming, approaching here. Okay. So I'll have many water molecules that are getting approached towards the sodium. Fine. So this force of attraction between this sodium and this oxygen. Whenever there is a force of attraction, remember this point that energy is always released. Energy is released. We call it as exergic process. Erg is a unit of energy. So we call this process what? Exergic process. Okay. So the point is this. Still we have not dealt the actual thing. I am just introducing a concept. What is happening to this NaCl we are studying? I have dropped NaCl in the glass of water and I still dissolved. Now what is exactly happening in dissolve? The sodium ions is surrounded by water molecules on all sides. So like this, many layers and layers and layers of sodium ions will be surrounded by water molecules. Same way chlorine also. Cl minus will be attracted by this positive, partial positive charge. So they also will be surrounded by layers and layers of water molecules. So during this process, what is happening? Is the energy released? Yes. Exo means released. Erg is a unit of energy. So during this process, I am not interested about chlorine. During this process, energy is released. And this energy that is released is called as hydration energy. So I hope you have understood what is hydration energy. If the solvent that we are using is water, we call it as hydration energy. If not water, if some other solvent I am using, then I call it as solvation energy. Okay. So right now, I hope you understood what is hydration energy. Now, let's understand another point. Then we shall discuss about the degree of hydration and all. There is also something called as lattice energy. Hydration energy we understood, very simple. Take a glass of water, pour salt in it, mix in it, and during the mixture, what is exactly happening? Sodium ions will be surrounded by water molecules. Chloride ion will be surrounded by water molecules. Why they are surrounded? Because there is a force of attraction. Between what and what? Between the ion and partial charges of oxygen or hydrogen. So now, if you are talking about lattice energy, during that process energy is released, that is called as hydration energy, clear. Now lattice energy. What is lattice energy? This is also a kind of energy, exoergic process. But here what is exactly happening is, suppose I have sodium plus and Cl minus. So this Na plus and Cl minus, of course they are again oppositely charged. So there will be a force of attraction between them also, and they form a bond. What type of bond? We have studied it already in 10th class. That is called as ionic bond, right? Yes or no? So before it forms Na and Cl, NaCl like this, Na plus Cl minus. Before it forms NaCl, first of all it should form Na plus, it should form Cl minus. Now how does Na plus is formed? We know that sodium will automatically form Na plus by losing one electron. How did this chlorine form? Chlorine is formed by gaining this one electron and form Cl minus, and then between these two there is a force of attraction such that it is forming our final product, that is NaCl, right? Now here in this process, as said already, during this force of attraction also, during Na plus and Cl minus, there is a force of attraction. In this case also energy should be released, right? So that amount of energy that is released when 1 mole of Na plus ions, 1 mole of Cl minus ions, they both are attracted towards each other and forms 1 mole of NaCl. To form 1 mole of NaCl, they both are attracted, and during this attraction energy is released. That energy released is called as lattice energy. And if I ask you what is lattice energy, is it exoergic or endoergic? Obviously it is released, so exoergic. So we got to understand what is lattice energy, what is hydration energy. There is a disturbance actually, so bear for it now. So NaCl is formed by the attractive force of Na plus and Cl minus, and energy is released, that is called lattice energy. Okay, so on a whole, the point is lattice energy and hydration energy both operates in opposite directions. Okay, so first, so hydration energy, that is what we have studied so far, is this. Energy released when 1 mole of gaseous ions is hydrated. Hydrated meaning it is surrounded by water molecules. One species, when it is surrounded by water molecules, we call it as hydration. And the energy process is called as hydration, and the energy released is called as hydration energy. Lattice energy. Energy released when 1 mole of ions attract each other to form crystal. Okay, to form what? A crystal, like NaCl crystal. If you have seen that sodium chloride crystal, like normal salt you use, no? So to form one mole, not one molecule, 1 mole of sodium and chloride ions attracted towards each other and energy is released. That is called as lattice energy. Now it is a combination of this and this will ultimately lead whether a substance is dissolving or not dissolving. Okay, so we have this dissolution process. Okay, dissolution process is because of net enthalpy change, that is lattice energy minus hydration energy, and this lattice energy minus hydration energy overall it should be a negative. Okay, if it is negative, then we say that dissolution is happening. That means the molecules are dissolving in water. One more time, molecules will be dissolved only when the net result of this one should be negative. In thermodynamics, we will study a property, that is enthalpy, and we will study there whenever it is delta H is negative, energy is released, and delta H is equals to positive, we say that energy is absorbed. Negative ante energy released, positive ante energy is absorbed. Okay, where delta H stands for change in the enthalpy. So as if now just information to gurtupettukondi, when you talk about thermodynamics you have a clear picture of that. So now coming back, so net enthalpy negative ga untene molecules అనేటివి dissolve అవుతాయి. ఇప్పుడు question, for it to be a negative, out of this factor and this factor, which let me focus on hydration energy. Hydration energy should be more or less. Question again, for this to be ultimately negative, should this value be higher or lesser? If you have answered higher, very good. So hydration energy, this factor should be higher such that lattice energy minus higher number will always be negative. So here is the bottom conclusion I want to write. Whenever we say that delta He, hydration energy, is higher, then molecules dissolve, substance dissolves in solvent. Suppose if delta H is lesser, higher or lesser with respect to what? With respect to lattice energy. Lesser, then substance does not dissolve in solvent. Okay, so this is the conclusion. Now, regarding the lattice energy, we will have a detailed study about in the chapter solid state. Okay, solid state chapter malli clear ga chaduvtam lattice energy. Right now, what we need to understand is whether a substance is able to dissolve or not. On what factor we will decide? We will decide on the factor of lattice energy and hydration energy. And hydration energy, lattice energy, the net result of this should be negative. Okay. Moving on, degree of hydration. Now we have understood what is hydration. The process of water molecules surrounding the ions is called as hydration, and the degree of hydration. Degree of hydration ante the amount of water surrounding the ions, whatever the ions we have used. So think, suppose I have the ions. I am talking about ions, I am not talking about atoms, ions. So suppose I have Li plus, Na plus, K plus, Rb plus, Cs plus. We know that out of these things, the smallest atom is lithium with first shell and second shell. Now Li plus, no, so the second shell will be 2s1 should be there, but now 2s0. In other words, the second shell has been lost. Can I say so? Nucleus at the center and the first shell. Okay, let me put the second shell also, no problem. This was second shell. Sodium, relatively bigger in size, first shell, second shell and third shell. Potassium, still bigger in size. Right? If we talk about cesium, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here is my valence electron which has been removed. Now on a whole, from the center to the outermost electron, if you talk, we have discussed about this already. So in which case the radius is bigger? Cesium case. Smaller? Lithium case. So now you think, in which case the force of attraction will be greater? Is it in the lithium case or cesium case with respect to water molecules? Water molecules to relate cheste ఏ కేస్ లో ఎక్కువ ఫోర్స్ ఆఫ్ అట్రాక్షన్ ఉంటది? Obviously this one. So okay, so in this case we see, like, suppose the water molecules are there, and this is also surrounded by water molecules. Not explaining that, let us say for some time being potassium. Okay, so in which case the ion and the water molecules are attraction force is greater? Obviously this one. So if the force of attraction is greater, then the degree of hydration is also greater. So give the order of degree of hydration. It will be Li plus greater than, Na plus greater than, K plus greater than, Rb plus greater than Cs. So the degree of hydration is least for cesium plus ion. And the reason, what is the reason? I'll let it here. Reason: smaller size, then more force of attraction between ions and water molecules. Smaller the size, more is the force of attraction between the ions and water molecules. So ultimately this is the conclusion that we have done. Very important, in fact. Many times asked in NEET and JEE also. Directly or indirectly you will be getting a question from here. So pay attention. Fine. So degree of hydration is done. Now let's move to the next one. That is radius of hydrated ions. We have studied the radius of ion, but here radius of hydrated ion. Meaning, suppose I have the lithium atom. Let me use another color. Sodium atom. Let's say sodium atom is with blue, little bigger than black. I have another color. Let's say potassium, violet. Little more bigger than sodium, and pink, still more bigger. I hope I am making some sense, just to differentiate the sizes of the atoms. And lastly, cesium. Right. Okay, so suppose these are the various atoms that we have in the first group elements. Okay, so out of these elements, what do you observe is the let me finish this one. Okay, all right. So in which case the water molecules will be attracted more. This circles that I am representing is nothing but what? Water molecules. Let me use black itself. This is my lithium, and now I have water molecules surrounding this. Why I am drawing too many water molecules here? Just now we have finalized that lithium's case there is a greater degree of hydration, right? So there will be many water molecules like this, greater radius of this one. And sodium is relatively lesser as compared to lithium. Sodium will be lesser. Like this somewhat. And similarly, if I talk about all the way to cesium case is very less. Degree of hydration is very less. So now, if I ask you, from this to this, whose radius? Radius is again the same thing, from the center to the outermost species. So from the center to the outermost species. Okay, from the center to the outermost species. So if you talk about in these two cases, the size, in which case it is greater, obviously here. So now the order I can find is like this. The radius of hydrated ions is greater in lithium plus, followed by sodium, followed by potassium, followed by. Reason, since degree of hydration is dash, is decreasing from top to bottom. Okay, so this is what the reason that you can give. Radius of hydrated ions is in this order. So lithium plus sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Okay, then next, ionic conductance of hydrated ions. Okay, ionic conductance, that is conductivity is depending on free movement of the particles. Remember this, whenever you talk about the conductance, conductivity is always depending upon free movement of the particles. Now, just now we have seen that lithium case there is a greater degree of hydration. We have many water molecules surrounding this, right? And in cesium case we have only very less number of water molecules surrounding this. So now you tell me in which case the movement of the ions is greater. Can lithium move faster? No, because of greater degree of hydration it cannot move, whereas cesium can move relatively faster. So when you talk about the conductance, which is more good conductor? Cesium. In case of hydrated ions, remember this, conductivity is greater for the cesium and the least for the Li+. Okay, so least followed by Na+, followed by K+, followed by Rb+, and then Cs+. Okay, so one last time again, ionic conductance. Conductance meaning the free movement of ions. And I am talking in case of what? Hydrated ions. Hydrated means surrounded by water molecules. So lithium case being smaller, more hydration, so it cannot move freely. Cesium, bigger atom, so less hydration, degree of hydration, so it can move freely. So good conductor is cesium plus in the hydrated form. Lithium plus, it is relatively weaker or less conductor, I can say so. Okay. So then the last thing, that is hydration energy. Now talking about all these things, by this time you should answer it already. Give the order of hydration energy in case of Li+, Na+, K+, Rb+, and Cs+. First of all, what is hydration energy? I have already said at the very beginning of the class, that is the amount of energy released. Amount of energy released when 1 mole of ions is hydrated. Hydrated meaning getting surrounded by water molecules. So during that process, in which case the hydration energy is very high. Of course, hydration, this process, hydration, is it a energy releasing or energy absorbing process? Energy releasing. So exoergic. So in which case the energy is released huge. In that case where the attraction is more, obviously. So in which case the attraction is more? Lithium case. So I have greatest, that is lithium plus, followed by Na plus, A plus, Rb plus and Cs plus. So this is the order of hydration energy. Very important as far as NEET or JEE or any other competitive exams regarding the first group elements, degree of hydration, that is radius of ionic hydrated ions, then conductance and hydration energy. Just take it out. So that's all about the very important property, and with this the physical properties are done. In the next class we'll be talking about the chemical properties. Chemical properties meaning how the metals are reacting with water, with air, with metals, any other metals, with non-metals, with oxygen. Okay, so all kind of chemical reactions. Chemical reactions will be dealt in the chemical properties. So take down these things, and very important, boys and girls, this time if you are using it in a right way, it will be more helpful for you. Where others are not doing it, you are doing something. Okay, so when I say you something, take down the points, okay, and write it down. Maintain a clear notes. That will help you a lot. Okay, so for today we should stop.